Excellent. So I believe that there is already enough people, and I believe we can start. So welcome to today's Falco Community Call, which is a pretty special community call because I believe it's the last one of the year. So I'm sure that everyone will be especially nice to everyone else at the end of this year, and because we all abide to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which applies to this meeting as well as the rest of interaction in the community. And of course, if you do not want to show your video, you can turn off your webcam, because this will end up on YouTube, and the little Christmas tree that I have in the background will end up on YouTube as well. And I willingly decided to show it for some reason. So thank you all for joining today, and you can feed your name the HackMD that Thomas has just shared in the chat as usual, and it's great to see a lot of people today. So let's, I think we can get started. Do we have any highlight last week? I am not sure, but there's none in the agenda. So I think we can just start with the first item, which is an issue on the Falco exporter, which someone has mentioned. I believe Jackie, was that you?
No, sorry, I think it's me, Edwin. Is my sign okay? I'm currently walking home, so I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, perfect, but we can.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so in short, the exporter seems to be broken together with the latest Helm release of Falco and the latest Helm release of Falco exporter, and me together with a number of other people have been asking about this issue in Slack, and we haven't really gotten any response. So I thought I would jump on here and see if we can have a quick chat about it, I guess.
So I'll be sharing the issue right now, and let's take a look. So we have an issue where the kind cluster with Falco and Falco exporter, there is the Falco container works fine and shows events, but we're missing metrics. So is there anyone that is maybe a maintainer of the exporter or has worked with the exporter and maybe can provide a bit of insight? Because we have two people on the call that are experiencing some bugs. I'm personally not an expert in Prometheus. I think I tried to use it once, but my experience in Prometheus was too low that I don't know if I was doing something wrong.
Yeah, so this isn't actually Prometheus issue. The issue is that the data doesn't arrive to the Prometheus endpoint. So it would surprise me if that's the problem. My assumption is that the DHCP/Unix socket is the problem, and the communication isn't working as intended between Falco and Falco Explorer right now.
Okay. Yes.
No, I mean the socket path, the default one, changed since the last Falco release. But assuming you are deploying this with the newest version of the charts, this should not be a problem, because I think the value should be mapped there as well. Plus, the default Falco configuration still enforces the new value. So this may be an issue, maybe, but not sure. Like, how is this deployed? Like, I assume with the charts, but
yeah. So as explained in the issue, that I've tried the last major ones of both releases.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was deploying this via the dev packages, and I think I was playing around with the socket path in Exporter, and it wasn't working for me. But I also don't know if I was doing anything wrong, or if there were, like, I didn't really know how else to investigate the issue. But I think I was trying different socket paths and in the Exporter, and it wasn't working right for me. Exporter and the Falco config. Yeah, we can take a look at this some more. I can do some debugging as well today if someone wants to work with me or anything.
Yeah, I mean, in the logs, it seems to being able to connect to the Falco socket anyways. So that might be an issue, but apparently the connection is on because the Falco exporter log, the one that we see on the bottom, we're probably at like a context deadline error at this point if we were not able to connect. So another issue then maybe is, so in the Falco configuration, to use the gRPC output, you have to do two things basically. First, enable the server, and then also enable the output. So I was wondering if maybe by mistake the output was not enabled, because I see the output on std out. Just wondering if it was enabled for gRPC as well, because the server is up.
Yeah, I can just give feedback there. I also see the output on my logs, but the metric isn't created. So either if the metrics catch isn't functioning or something like that.
So I did also enable the output options in the Falco config, but I was experiencing an error where it was like dialing and timing out. I have a screenshot of it. I don't know if I can upload it anywhere, but yeah, the gRPC error dialing server context deadline exceeded 2 minutes after trying to connect to the socket. So I don't know if this is like a separate issue. I was wondering if the metrics, the Falco events metrics was separate from the dialing issue. So this might be two different pieces, or it might be related together. So I'm not too sure, but I'm available to help debug.
If you have a connection problem to the socket, then it may be a different issue, because I don't, from the log of the list in this issue, I think that's not, I mean, that's not the concerning part. So yeah, I mean, this will require additional investigation. Thank you for reporting this, and I'll try to keep everyone updated if we find more. Hopefully it's not a bug in the exporter. I mean, I'm not sure. It may be, but I don't recall anything specific that was added recently besides changing default socket path.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Thanks, Edwin. And it would be great to understand that Falco exporter is probably something that I don't hear a lot. So maybe something happened in the process. We can use the issue here for this specific issue, and for Stanley. You can also take a look and see if there is a separate issue that requires, of course, another issue open, and see if we can debug that. I see that there is also, I believe, a thread on this in the Slack channel as well. So, of course, the issue is the main point for all the information, but feel free to check with your debugging session. Thanks a lot for reporting this.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I can try to update the issue later tonight with the configuration values that I'm using in Helm to visualize it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. The next point is actually from me. So I'm here to talk to everyone that has noticed a bunch of things and is not very happy about them. For example, have you ever noticed that we distribute container images for Falco, and we distribute a lot of things. We distribute so much cool stuff, but only a small part of that is signed? Or have you noticed perhaps that if you run a vulnerability scanner on the Falco image, it seems like it's finding so many vulnerabilities, like hundreds of them, but they're actually false positives, and you still don't like them? If you're like me, you're not liking all the stuff, but I would like to say that starting in January 2023, there will be a working group for all these issues. So we started from the last community call I was in. I proposed to start the Falco Software Supply Chain Security Working Group to try and address these issues. So I just wrote a small document here that you can view, and I will cross-post to the channel that summarizes my thoughts on this and the stuff that we discussed briefly in the community call last time. So I think this is a great opportunity for the project to get rid of some of the, annoying problems that we have related to supply chain security. And I love the fact that we now have increasing support for standards such as OCI artifacts, and we do have that even without this working group, but now we can add supply chain security to it. So signing and even porting to OCI artifacts stuff that it isn't. There was a lot of great interest from several people. We have a channel now. Join that. We'll start meeting in January because I speak for myself, but I'm sure that even the other people interested are super busy from here until the end of the year. So I don't think that there will be a lot of opportunities to work. And thanks to everyone that joined, and for people that didn't and are interested, you can go on the CNCF Slack, not the Kubernetes Slack, because we cannot create new channels there, but you go on the CNCF Slack and join this working group. If there's anyone that has questions about what we want to do, or otherwise, feel free to take a look at the document, and if you have ideas, you can edit the document and so forth. Thank you so much. And now we have an entry from Jackie, who is talking about the LinkedIn page and group.
Yeah, so with all of the kind of tension around Twitter, I thought it would be good for the Falco community to actually have a LinkedIn page, which is a little bit more of a neutral space for us to still continue to push out any of our content or any messaging we want. So I went ahead and created that. I know it was kind of my bad. I should have brought this up to the community sooner and asked for permission, but here I am asking for forgiveness that it's created. And then the other item that I have is a little bit of housekeeping. So I linked there a Google Doc, and I'm trying to basically outline all of the Falco channels. So whether it be Stack Overflow or like channels that we have on the Kubernetes or the CNCF Slack, mainly to do housekeeping, but also, it was brought up to my attention that we just need help. Also just being aware that people are sometimes inputting things there and like there's not a fast enough response. So I'm trying to just be more cognizant of that as well. And so I'm putting a list together of like where are all the channels that I should be paying attention to. So if people are asking questions, they're being addressed in a timely manner. And then also are any of these channels, should we just archive them because like no one's using them or they shouldn't be using them? So that's the other part of this exercise that I'm going through for the Falco community. So that's it.
Thanks a lot, Jackie. I'm not familiar I'm not an avid user of LinkedIn. Maybe they should be more. So I don't know how to comment on that. In terms of channels, that's great because I didn't even know that these many channels existed. I did create one, but I didn't know that these many channels existed. So maybe someone recognizes them. Maybe some of them can be revived, and maybe some of them should just be closed.
Exactly. Yeah. So welcome to feedback. If you want to drop in comments in the Google Doc, just let me know.
So I see also a comment from Stanley, who is saying that there was also a legacy SysDig Slack that is not very alive. And Stanley is absolutely right in the fact that all development, let's say, questions, community channels for Falco are present in either the Kubernetes Slack, the Falco channel there, or the CNCF Slack. Back in the day, I think 2017, we used something like the channel that was on the SysDig Slack. So that one isn't current anymore and shouldn't actually exist anymore. If it does, it should probably be closed. And it's a good point to bring, because that's legacy. Maybe someone is lost and gets redirected there.
Okay, yeah, I'll add that too.
So this is not like a comment on whether or not we should move away from the Kubernetes Slack, right? It's just that there is
No, it's just more housekeeping. It's just like, hey, all of these channels exist, but really we want to be on the Kubernetes Falco channel. But there's all these other ones that exist. Do we want to close them down, or do we want to keep them going for a specific reason? Because no one's maintaining them. So it's going to fall on me to start making sure that on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, I carve time out of my day to make sure I'm checking in on all these channels.
So I would suggest a message in the Falco channel on the Kubernetes Slack for all these others. Apart from the last one, I recognize this.
Yeah.
I should be. Yeah, I mean, it should be a problem if I didn't. But apart from that, maybe you can ask from time to time in the Kubernetes Slack on the Falco channel, and if nobody shows up, it could be time for a while.
Yeah, for us to just archive it. Yeah, that makes sense. So anyways, I just wanted to bring it up to the community that we're doing these housekeeping items just because we want to be more proactive in where we have communications going out, and to just maintain them better.
And if there was something in the open source is the Slack that can be closed today because it's legacy from many years ago and nobody's looking at that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's it for me.
I think we have one more item. We have Andrea who wants to talk about C++ 17 because compiler standards are one of our favorite topics. And so please, Andrea, tell us more about experiments on C++ 17.
Yeah, thank you, Lucas. Sorry, I had a lot of problem with Slack, so I'm not sure you can hear me, but okay, let's do this.
I can hear you just fine.
Thank you. And the idea is to propose the C++ 17 as a default standard for Falco security libraries. This is because today we have not a well-defined standard, and I have already tried to compile all the SINSP possible flavors and Falco with C++ 17, and I haven't seen any issue. And moreover, the C++ 17 support a large range of compilers and very old compilers, so I think these shouldn't cause any issues. And I'm here for a specific reason, because I have tested Falco, but Falco is not the only adopter of the libraries, and we have other adopters. So I'm here mainly to ask if all the other adopters find something strange in this, or see some issues in doing something like that. Obviously, I don't want an answer here now, but probably we can ask. We can talk on the Falco channel. My original idea was to create a tracking issue in the libraries and maybe share it in the Falco Slack channel. In this way, we can talk with all the community members about that. And that's almost that. I don't know if someone want to comment on it here, or maybe I see Mauro this on Falco.
Yes.
So yeah.
Hi. Yeah, personally for StackRocks, we build the libraries as part of our product with, I believe it's basically a CentOS 8 or UBI 8 image, which should have GCC 8, I think.
Okay.
I have to check. So I don't think it's an issue for us. I'm pretty sure GCC 8 supports C++ 17.
Yes.
But then if someone is trying to build it on something like, I don't know if that's like some Alma Linux 7, which would have GCC 4.8. I don't know if they can actually build that with C++17. We'll have to
Okay.
check those.
Okay.
I do think it'd be great to like open an issue and just, you know, have people aware that, hey, we are gonna try to like set C++17 as the default. If someone is opposed to it,
Yeah,
please
sure.
say so.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna try to break something, so let's do that. And thank you for the feedback. Now I will open the issue today after the call.
Like, as far as I know, I think it makes sense. Sorry, Luca.
Please go ahead, Jason.
No, I think it makes sense. Honestly, C++11 is a bit old, even though most of the code base is not that, you know, that young itself, but GCC 7 should be good for the C++17 standard, I think, in general. And I personally remember when working on the language filtering refactor stuff, I had to exclude some open source libraries that did a good chunk of the work, mostly because of the C++ standard, which it happens to be C++17 for one of those libraries that I really liked. So I may be like, I may give a big thumbs up for this. Like, I see, you know, if we're sure that we don't break anything, I will be good for this. Let's open an issue and try to collect some feedback, and then, especially given the fact that we may not have big, you know, major code changes to introduce. Thumbs up for me.
Yeah, that's I agree absolutely, and of course the problem is the problem that Andrea mentioned is indeed important, because if we only think about Falco, then everything is fine, but the libraries are used by other components, and the way to include the libraries means that if downstream projects use are limited, maybe the libs and the other maintainers in the libs have something to say. Maybe the libs can wait until this is implemented. But anyways, that would be a big +1, because sometimes you can see in the documentation that some functionality that you would take for granted has been introduced in C++17. So
yeah, exactly. Like file system, let's say just one.
Yeah, we all know C++. We all know and love C++. So the next point here is from Leonardo, who is about to tell us to give us an update about the proposal that he opened recently this month.
Yeah, basically the proposal is ready and finalized. I received already 2 approval from, if I remember correctly, Federico and Andrea.
Yes.
I would like to know if we can annul the proposal and then proceed. In particular, I really believe there are 2 things that we can do within the next Falco release, and specifically they are moving the Falco rules out from the Falco repository, and also make Falco Cattle an official tool, since I monitored the progress of Falco Cattle and is going very well. So it would be great if we can have at least these 2 things in January. So if nobody disagree, I would annul this proposal. That's only my point, very briefly.
Considering also the fact that in order to advance the supply chain security, it's great to have first-class OCI support for everything. That sounds perfectly fine to me. And of course,
maybe the most important part of the proposal is in the bottom, the action items. I believe this is really important to share with who haven't seen it yet. Basically, in the end, this proposal want to move the Falco rules out from the Falco repo, so that they can be distributed using also Falco Cattle, and of course to make Falco Cattle official, and in the long term also to replace Falco driver loader with Falco Cattle. Of course, the last point will require more time, but I believe the first 2 points will be feasible within this milestone.
I believe that the points go in order pretty much. So first this, then this,
Approximately, yes. Yeah.
then so yeah, also for the rules, moving the rules, this has been a pain point for some time. The fact that right now default rules are completely bound to a Falco version, and there's no versioning for that rule, for those rule files. So since we added so many versions to the libs and so many versions to everything that we are doing, adding one for the rules makes total sense to me, and we need an extra repository to do that.
In my opinion, it's really important that we must be free to release new rules at any time. Just think the log4j. Basically, it arrived too late in our release. So having these in my opinion, it's really important.
Completely agree. Definitely agree.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to confirm that nobody disobeyed. Thank you.
Cool. So if there's no more points on this, we have a point from Stanley, and there is a question: if there has been any testing with Falco on Linux kernel version greater than 6.1. I was not aware that 6.1 was shipped around. I have 6.0 on my machine, I believe, and I don't know. Does anyone that runs leading edge distros? No?
If I remember well, I've tried it on 6.0, but not 6.1. So not completely sure. The model prep should work on that, but yeah, I've not tested it. I can do that. Have you seen some issue about that?
No, it was just a general question. My organization usually rolls out the LTS kernel, the next LTS kernel every year. So 6.1 is the next LTS kernel, and I will probably have to test Falco on 6.1. So maybe I'll let you guys know if I run into any shenanigans. Hopefully not.
Okay. I will take a look, by the way.
And
I have tried like similar thing. Our slightly modified BPF probe for StackRox on 6.0 Fedora, and it works fine. So, but not 6.1.
Cool. Thanks a lot. And also the follow-up question is related, and I'm pretty sure that Andrea and perhaps Mauro have opinions on that. And is there a testing criteria / validation for modern BPF probe? I see that we currently build it if we're following ahead. So Andrea knows about
what do you mean exactly for criteria validation for the model?
I pulled in the latest changes, and I saw that we can build the modern BPF probe, and I was wondering if can we expect everything to work the same way as the old legacy BPF probe? Is there any performance regression or improvements that we can expect?
Let's say this is a good point. The modern probe will be shipped off officially in the Falco 0.34 release, but this will be shipped as a experimental feature because we currently don't support all the syscall that we have in the old drivers. We have just 80 syscall, the simple set, let's call. We don't have all the syscall. I don't remember exactly the number, but I think almost 160 syscall. And the idea is to port all of them in the model probe for the next Falco release, so probably Falco 0.35. So for the 0.34, we'll ship these as experimental feature. It should work. So if you run Falco without the -a option, it should work great. But it's experimental, so it could be that something wouldn't work as expected, let's let's say. But I've tested it and it seems to work.
Cool, cool. Maybe I'll play with this after I do some other things that are in my to-do list. But
Yeah.
That looks very interesting, and I understand that it doesn't support all the syscalls. It just supports a simple set.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say what we talked yesterday in the Falco channel, you cannot do that in the modern prop. You cannot add other syscall with that function because we don't have other syscall. So yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Great to see interest on the modern BPF probe. We are all very excited about it. So I think for today we ran out of items. If there's anyone that wants to add something, some people have added while we were speaking, but if you didn't and you thought about something, please.
Yeah, since Mara is not talking, it will be nice if we try to run the end-to-end test with the modern BPF. I'm always advocating Mara's work on the end-to-end test in libs.
I actually started trying to add them, and we need to like change to use the Ubuntu 22.04, so it has like the new kernel and everything. It's gonna be a little bit of a hassle, but if I get some time, I promise I'll try to get it working. I've just been really busy with other stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't telling it was up to you.
I have this also on my agenda, but right now I'm testing, let's say, the lower level, the only driver test. I have already opened the pull request on libs to test all the 3 drivers. But yes, the next step will be go in CINSP and test and enforce the Mauro end-to-end tests.
The Mauro end-to-end test.
Yeah.
That sounds like you're testing me.
We know that he owns them.
It's a community effort, guys. Like I just wrote a bunch of Python. Now it's a community effort.
Just write the code.
Yeah, except I was telling that it's not up to tomorrow. Like we could also have a track that on GitHub.
Yeah, when I build them in the code, I write make Mauro end-to-end, and they run.
Yeah, that's the name now. Now they have this name, the Mauro end-to-end. The Mauro
Music target.
Thanks everyone for the effort, as usual. Anyone else that has something to say?
No, but I just wanted to remind that this should be the last call for this year. Is that correct?
That is correct. When is the next one?
That too. Yeah, I thought we did have one next week, but I can definitely cancel it. And then are we reconvening on the week of the 4th then? Would that be our next meeting?
Pretty sure I will not be there on the week of the 4th. So
yeah, so then you want me to cancel the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, probably. If you want, we can do that on Christmas Day.
No, the 21st.
I think that I believe we spoke with Leonardo as well about this, about what we did last year, because I don't remember.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. Basically, we usually skip the first week of the year because some country has holidays, not all are at work. I believe that in this case, a good candidate for the next call would be January 11th.
Okay, I'll cancel next week.
If you all agree, of course, if you all agree. It's just
that works.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Cool.
Okay.
See you in the new year.
See you.
So see you on January 11th.
See you in 2023.
So
And look at the last thing, panettone.
Panettone?
I ate an entire panettone by myself last week. It was delicious. It had chocolate and ganache. You can't fight that.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. I will always endorse that. So everyone, I hope if you like sweets, you can get your panettone. If you have never tried it, I would suggest that you do. So everyone, please enjoy the rest of the 2022 and see you all in 2023. Of course, I wish you the best of time with friends and family. And before that, I wish that you don't have too many things to do before the end of the year, because everyone is now super busy. I know I am. I hope you're less. You have less of a backlog than me for the end of 2022. But anyways, we'll all enjoy some well-deserved rest, and we'll be back with so many cool topics about Falco and everything else in the new year.
Thank you. And you all too. Have a great holidays. Happy New Year in advance.
Thank you so much. It would be cool if this meeting were in person.
Bye.
But
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy Christmas.
Everyone, soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.